me plight. But at the time of writing I am not a pretty sight. Me body is all black and blue, me face a deathly grey. So I write this note to tell you why I'm not at work today. While working on the 14th floor, some bricks I had to clear, but to chuck them down from such a height was not a good idea. The foreman, he was not amused, he is an awkward sod. He said I'd have to carry them down the ladders in me hod. Now shifting all these bricks by hand was really very slow, so I hoisted up the barra and secured a rope below. But in me haste to do the job, I was too blind to see that a barra full of building bricks would be heavier than me. And so when I untied the rope, the barra fell like lead, and clinging tightly to the rope, I started up instead. I shot up like a rocket, but to my dismay I found that halfway up I met the bloody barra coming down. The barrow broke me shoulder as to the ground it sped, and when I reached the top I banged the pulley with me head. But clinging tightly, numb with shock from this almighty blow, and the barrow spilled out half its bricks some 14 floors below. Now when these bricks had fallen from the barrow to the floor, I then outweighed the barrow, so I started down once more, still clinging tightly to the rope, me body racked in pain. And halfway down I met the bloody barrow once again. The result of this collision halfway down the office block caused multiple abrasions and a nasty case of shock. By clinging tightly to the rope, I headed for the ground and landed on the broken bricks the barrel had scattered round. And as I lay there groaning, I thought I'd passed the worst, but the barrow hit the pulley wheel and then the bottom burst. A shower of bricks rained down on me, I didn't have a hope. And as I lay there bleeding, I let go the bloody rope. That made the barrow heavy, and he started down once more, and landed straight across me as I laid upon the floor. It broke 3 ribs and my left arm, and so I write to say, I hope you'll understand, sir, why I'm not at work today. Ladies and gentlemen, Christmas is just around the corner. Have you done your Christmas shopping? Come on, let's be honest. No, neither have I. There's only 4 weeks' time to be all over and done and dusted. You do realise that, don't you? Yeah, frightening thought. Now, I remember 6 years ago, oh, dear, you know what it's like, isn't it? I would buy anything for my wife if only I knew what she wanted for Christmas. And I come home one night and I said, it's no good, dear. I said, I'm absolutely stumped. I said, I don't know what you want for Christmas. Or I can tell you what I want for Christmas. I said, what I would like, said, is a little budgery car that I could teach to talk. I said, oh, get out, do mate, you don't. I said, I'm just telling you, I would like one. I said, get out, I don't want one of these. I said, look, I said, I would like a budgery car that I could teach to talk. So I goes in market about 4 weeks before Christmas. I went into the pet shop. I said, my missus wants a budgery car that'll talk. He said, I got the very one for you, sir. Thick blue one. Over there in the corner, he said, guaranteed to talk. You can give him 6 quid. I said, fair enough. That's good value. I paid up my money. I said, how can I take him home? He said, quite easy. He said, so put it in a box, tie up a string, make some holes in the lid so he can breathe. There you are, 6 quid. I said, thank you very much, sir. I took him home. I had no bird over a week. He never spoke a word. Not a dicky bird he didn't. So I went back the following week. I said, that bird's no good. He said, what's the trouble? I said, he don't talk. He said, you mean to tell me that he sat there in the cage all the week and never said nothing? I said, in the cage? I said, he's still home in the box. He said, you gert fool, you must have a cage. I said, how much? He said, oh, 6 quid. I said, fair enough. I bought the cage, took on the cage, put the bird in, he walked around and around the cage and forward and back the perch and forward and back the perch and round and around the cage. He never said a word. I went back and a couple of days later I said, he's no good. He said, what's the trouble? I said, he don't talk. He said, what do you do all week? I said, he goes round and around the cage, forward and back the perch, forward and back the perch, round and around the cage. He don't say a word. He said, what about when he goes up and down the ladder? I said, ladder? He said, oh, Pudgy's have a ladder. I said, really? He said, oh, yeah. I said, how much? He said, £1. I bought the ladder, took him a ladder, stood up in the cage, put the bird in, he went round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back the perch, up down the ladder, round the cage, never said a word. I went back, I said, he's a dud. I said, what's the trouble? He said, what's the trouble? I said, he goes round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back the perch, up down the ladder, round the cage. He don't say a word. He said, what about when he looks in the mirror? I said, I ain't got no mirror. He said, oh, Pudgy's have a mirror. I said, do? He said, yeah. I said, how much? He said, 80 pence. Bought the mirror, took him home, hung it up in the cage, put the bird in, he went round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, up down the ladder, round the cage. He never said a word. I went back and I said, I'm getting fed up with this. He said, what's your trouble now? I said, he still don't talk. He said, what do I do? And he goes round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looks in the mirror, forward back apart, looks in the mirror, up down the ladder, round the cage. He don't say a word. He said, what about when he rings a bell? I said, I ain't got no. He said, oh, Pudgy's have a bell. I said, how much? He said, 50 pence. I bought the bell, hung it on that side of the cage, put the bird in, he went round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, ring the bell, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, ring the bell, up down the ladder, round the cage. He never said a word. I went back and I said, I didn't want to grumble. But I said, I'm getting fed up with it. He said, what's the trouble now? As he goes round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looks in the mirror, rings the bell, forward back, looks in the mirror, rings the bell, up down the ladder, round the cage. He don't say a word. He said, what about when he sits on the swing? I said, I ain't got no swing. He said, you're a very good customer. He said, you can give one for 20 pence. I bought the swing, hung it up on the top of the cage. Put the bird in, he went round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, ring the bell, sat up on the swing and pulled off dead. I went back to him, I did. I said, that bird. He said, what's the trouble? I said, he went round the cage, up down the ladder, forward back apart, looked in the mirror, ring the bell, sat up on the swing and pulled off dead. He said, didn't I say anything then? I said, funny you should say that. But he landed on his back in the bottom of the cage, and he opened one eye and looked at me, and he said, don't that bloody shop sell seeds? Good night, God bless you all. Thanks for listening. Lovely to see you all.
There are, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a really fabulous entertainer, Mr. Tony Beard. There we are. And he's always really welcome here in Bampton. There are they. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, once again for Tony Beard and his backing band, Barracuda. There we are. I think we ought to do the drum now.